All right, joining me now. Love having him on the pod. And he is, if you're watching here on YouTube, you can see showing off the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. He is the new champion, once again, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. I feel it's nice to have the hardware to show off. It's more than nice. And I'm actually as well in a bit of a wrestling history just beneath my feet. I'm in the arena in Montreal, the Bell Center, right here in the hallway. Yeah, right.
Screw job.
Yeah, I mean, it's the famous hallway. It still looks the exact same. So just walking here, I told everybody who was leading me this way that it's wrestling history we're walking on. So it all centers around the WWE title. So yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Trying to enjoy the summer. For my job right now, it's all about get to football season. That's what we're trying to do. So try to get these 3 weeks to go by quickly, get to football season, and that's when all the fun in my world starts to happen usually.
I feel like that's a little bit old school, the stretch to football.
It's, for what I do with content and sports media, I focus so much on sort of like the announcers and the business, the games, the broadcast of the games, and there's nothing like the NFL in this country. So that's why, and college football too, I should say, which I know you're a big college football. I was enjoying you putting your picks on Instagram stories, but then I think you stopped or something.
There's not enough knowledge. College picks are good for me because I follow college pretty well. I had my spot on game day as a guest picker one time. College picks okay, but the NFL, when I say old school, my dad was very similar. And when the NFL wasn't on, it was kind of this lost period of, well, what do I watch? What do I do? And if his team, baseball wise, wasn't winning, he didn't watch basketball enough. So I may throw the picks back on. I'm not
good.
I'm not too shabby when it comes to my NFL picks. My love is the SEC in college football. That's just where my heart is.
Well, that's, the biggest conference. So that's why I was always interested in your picks, because I sort of, I like to bet against what everyone's picking. So if I see you on the trend as well, then that helps inform me to go the other way. That's how I do it usually.
Well, what's it's always fun to be right when you've got kind of a wild card pick. It's always fun. And college football is, I think, more than ever, with the conferences changing and the way they've changed just in the past few seasons, college football is pretty unpredictable again, which I love.
100%.
I love that. Yeah. Alabama's probably going to be 9 times out of 10, but maybe it's starting to become like 8 times out of 10, where there's that little element of, it could happen.
Yeah, for sure. And Georgia, obviously, close to your heart. They've dominated in recent years, so you have to be happy about that. Speaking of dominated,
the Dogs are back too. Defense is back. Defense, Dogs. I think it's going to be a hell of a season.
Looking forward to that. And as I was saying about dominating, you're coming off SummerSlam. By all accounts, it's interesting. I don't know how you feel about this. I'm just curious. From what I saw, everyone loved your match against John Cena for a variety of reasons. Do you, there's that old sort of adage, I guess, where, if you pay attention when people are complimenting you, you have to pay attention when they're not complimenting you. So how do you take a lot of satisfaction when there's a good reaction to a match, a monster match like that? Or do you say, listen, my job is my job, whether they, respond that way or not?
I feel I'd probably be lying to you, and I think most people would be lying to you if they said they don't love a little pat on the back. They don't love a little attention when you do something that is universally praised. But also, I don't take it with such a heavy, oh my gosh, I'm the man, this is that moment. The same way I don't take it when it goes the other way, when there's a negative outlook on your match, or even a universal negative outlook on your match. That just comes across as, as Mr. Heyman will say, and people say all the time, every time we go out there, it's just an audition for us to be able to come back. With that said, though, with SummerSlam, there are a couple moments in the match where I did realize we were definitely in a good place. The audience is always going to let you know. And for me, a stadium where the sound's usually going up because there's no roof on MetLife and you have, 60,000 people or whatever, where you can hear them very well, that was a good indication that when I watch this back, if I do watch it back, they were vibing, they were enjoying it. They were on the roller coaster with us versus us just showing them a roller coaster. So there was definitely a few moments that I got to stop, smell the roses, and have an appreciation for the moment at SummerSlam.
It was a very physical match. How did you feel in the moments right after it?
There's a photo of me laying down right afterwards. I had a little dressing room right over by Gorilla. There's a photo of me laying down on the floor, and it's very telling. I'm just laying face forward, and I'm holding on to my side. It's very telling that I was certainly, I don't want to say injured by any means, but I was hurt. I was banged up. One little rib on the left side really bothering me. Back of my calves, all kinds of dumb. I can list you these little. They're just little, what I'd say like little knickknacks. I'm a big advocate, and you'll always wrestle hurt, but don't wrestle injured. So I am lucky that no injuries. I left there, no injuries. I don't believe he has any injuries, and that's a good night at the office.
So when you have those little knickknacks, does it take a day, 2 days, 3 days where you start feeling yourself again, or do they linger?
It could take a day or 3 days for you to feel. I mean, as you get older, it takes you wake up the next day and feel completely different. However, I got a 4-year-old daughter, and 4-year-old daughter who has missed me for the whole week because I've been prepping for SummerSlam, and then we go on this Hamptons trip. Something Arn Anderson told me a long time ago: no matter how bad you feel, don't take a nap on that day after the match, and be there. So I was picking her up. We were running on the beach. We got a kite. I'm probably going to post the video on Instagram. We actually got a kite up in the air. I think with her in mind, I was able. I was good. I was good. I got a different type of rest, if that makes any sense. But
Right.
yeah, as you get older, it used to be, I could do this again tomorrow. I always think people, I could wrestle a bear. But somewhere between 35 and 40, it did start to become, that next day.
Yeah.
That next day is a little rough. My wife heard it a bunch because I kept telling her, she'd ask me to get up to do something. I'd be like, I had a really tough match. So just give me a second. And that give me a second means, could you please get that soda out of the fridge and not me? But yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. All right. That's good to hear, because you're going to be busy now. Because like I said, you're champion once again.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Biggest difference for you personally winning it this time than last WrestleMania? Did it feel the same, or how different did it feel?
I took a moment. It's actually before the match, before winning it, and before John handing it to me. I took a really. I thought I would be. I thought this memory would be way more present, but then as I was under the stage, it hit me, and I'm shocked I didn't remember this. That is the stage I went and hid under after my match got cut at WrestleMania 29. So the same place I'm getting in the elevator to rise up and hopefully get number 2 and win the WWE Championship. The same place I'm going on while everybody else has got their boots off and watching is where I sat, in my feelings after getting a match cut, meaning my match was taken off the show minutes before it happened. When I realized that and I'm coming up is where I really wanted to kind of take stock of every feeling I had. So the first time WrestleMania 40 was a completely different feeling because I felt like I was capturing something that involved so many people. Of course, my dad trying to finish his story. Of course, all the medley of characters that were involved in the big schmaz at the end. This one felt, I think, selfishly a little bit for me in terms of, see, I told you. And not in a mean-spirited way, but see, I told you. I was the right guy for the job. And I've been the right guy for the job. But nobody believes that when you're another wrestler as much as you're going to make somebody go through it and put me through it. And that feeling in there felt very much, gosh, I guess the best way to put it Jimmy, is it felt like I'm the champ. The first time, I don't remember thinking to myself, I'm the champ. This time, I felt like, yeah, I'm the champ.
Why didn't you feel like you were the champ the first time?
I don't know. I think because of all the emotions and the WrestleMania 40, everything that was going into it, and the component of the final boss, and just the road. I might have had too much of my vision on the road ahead if it happens. Oh, what could be versus this one? It just felt like, yes, I wasn't lying to you guys, and I'll keep doing this. If you want to move the goalposts, move them. If you want to tell me I'm not, tell me. But I'm gonna do what I did tonight.
So you were champion originally for a year. You won it at WrestleMania against Roman, then you lost it at WrestleMania against Cena. Was that year as champion everything you expected? Was it more? Were you happy with your year as champion? Were you satisfied?
I don't know if anyone's ever really satisfied, and I don't mean for those watching. I just had a grown face because I don't know if you're ever really satisfied when there's always things you can do to improve your wrestling in terms of in-ring, bell-to-bell, ways to improve wrestling, ways to improve your matches. I think from an area that will always make you feel good as a wrestler, from an inside perspective, in terms of how you deliver as a champion on the measurables, whether that's, well, we know what they all are because now we all talk about them, that's buy rates or merch or our subscribers or just tickets, of course, being the biggest one. In that area, I had a goal in time, a very material goal, a very inside goal of wanting to be the best in a year that anyone could be, and that was accomplished. So that's certainly something that when I leave the wrestling game, whenever that comes, gosh knows when, I'll be able to look and say that you can't take that portion away from me. I feel like I love that all this data is available to fans now to be able to say, hey, another year of record business. And that's a big thing with potentially if I ever was to go, the dark side, ever go bad guy. It's definitely possible. I feel like sometimes I'm too heavy handed with how I say, oh no, it'll never happen. Oh, I'm sure it's possible. And maybe it does. But anyone who tells you, hey, he's better as a bad guy has been living under a rock for 3 years of record business. So I do have to state from a looking at it on the board, no, was not better. Maybe unproven because it never did it in a major setting like with WWE's platforms. But that's probably one of the things that leaves doubt as to far as, ooh, if I did, would it still be as good? Could it be? And I bet it could. Maybe one day.
Yeah. I always find it amusing when the guest takes my next question without me asking it. But I was going to say, and I don't want to get into you being a pod. I was going to say, I want to just do two quick things here on the SummerSlam match with John Cena, and then transition to, so you have a lot to cover with Unreal, you being a podcast host, ESPN, a couple other funny things. So I just wanted to do the two things on the Cena match, which was one, I don't want to use the term everyone. I always usually do that. But a lot of people thought you were turning heel that night. Was it even ever a discussion? And what I do want to know is, if and when you ever do turn heel, is that a group decision with Triple H, Nick Khan, yourself, or can you go to Triple H and say, I think this is the time, I want to do it now? Or can they say to you, hey, we're your boss, we want you to do this now, even if you don't want to? So take me through that whole process, because everyone was expecting a big heel turn.
Well, so I play for the team. So if the coach tells me this is what we're doing, I might have a question or two about it. I can weigh an objection or not, or a comment, but also that's the whole quarterback element. I'm going to run the play. So when discussions like that, and Unreal's kind of shed some light on this, but you have that writer's room, Ed Koski's right there. You have Triple H, of course, the final boss, always present in a way, and Nick Khan. That would be a big discussion that we would all have. And I think heading into any event, not just SummerSlam, any event, Triple H as a leader likes to lay out every single potential road we could go down, because you might find something on the road that you don't go down that road, but you think of, oh, when we do. He's just very good about polling the room in terms of if we did that, what does it look like? Where would it go? Is it just for shock? Is it not? And I love that, Unreal is lifting this veil a little bit here today, but I jokingly just told that crew, because I just did an interview with the Unreal guys, I kept hearing the phrase double turn. Double turn's a little more complicated than people think. I know it shouldn't be. I'm waiting for, I have a bounty out if one person can actually tell me what that means. And they're going to say the thing that sounds the most simple, and that's not what a double turn is. But I'm not going to get into it. Because fans are always right. It's very much, I have learned my lesson. Whenever you try to mansplain something,
right,
you end up just coming off as a dick. Not to use foul language here, but the fans are very much in control of what we do. They're playing this music, and we're honored to be in front of them doing it. If it was discussed, it didn't go far. It didn't go, I don't think it got to me by any means, because I would have some ideas on maybe how I would execute it and what would happen. But again, I think if you're Triple H and you're looking at 3 years of record business and you're looking at your team as it is, Rhea Ripley, who's the face of the company, CM Punk, who's the face of the company, Seth Rollins, who's the face of the company, young Braun Breaker, who's on his way up, Jacob Fatu on his way up. I think if you look at your team, if you move a piece in a big way, does it affect the rest of the team? Do we keep running? Do we keep record business? Who knows what it may be? But yeah, that's a discussion that this company, the way it's done today, it's a team effort. Hunter's going to make the call, but he's got a good war room of people to weigh it all out.
I also think, too, and this is me coming at it as a Cody Rhodes fan and not a podcaster interviewing you, there's a big, big part of me that would like to see you turn heel for the entertainment of it. Sure. But I also like the fact that they didn't do it there when everyone was expecting it. You shouldn't do it when everyone's expecting it. No. That it should come when no one's expecting it. So the fact that there was this buildup that it was going to happen, I'm glad it didn't, because I know it probably goes against the business of like making money, but I think it's actually more effective if you do it on a random SmackDown. Because it's like a holy shit moment that, that's just my opinion. Cody fan.
I think I will say this in terms of that the HEEL moment, when and if that ever happens, the more we rack up as a babyface and the more I learn and build connections with the audience, not the less likely it becomes, but the more complicated it becomes. Because if it was to happen and then they start cheering it happen, then it wasn't what we wanted it to be. It wasn't effective. Right. Now, doesn't mean it can't not work, but I am very old school and I'm not knocking anyone who wants the entertainment or the shock value of it. But if that was ever a road to go down, I'd want to be basically canceled. I'd want to be scum of the earth, villain. And as I've branched out my character and the American Nightmare and the brand and all the things, it becomes a lot more complicated the more your hands get into other elements of WWE, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you.
The more I've been able to connect and have a really great time with the audience, the more it just becomes complicated and it becomes maybe too big a risk. Who knows?
Right.
Not me. I can tell you that. Who knows?
Right.
Not me.
No, I think you would be great at it. That's why I want to see it. The last thing I wanted to touch on that match was you were booed during that match.
Oh, yeah.
Were you expecting the boos? Because it was John, big moment for John. Yeah.
I think I was expecting it to be a little more because Vegas was a kind of an anomaly of a crowd, just a different type.
Right.
Then, so I assume maybe that will happen. I call it an away game. I'm like, hey, this is going to be an away game. And I knew from Friday, and then when I heard my entrance on Sunday, I thought, oh, no, okay. And I got, I always try to do the thing where you make eye contact and you find your peoples and your youngins and your little kids. And I was looking and I saw so many, in the red, white, and blue, so many with their signs. And I felt, okay, maybe it's a different, everyone always thinks of New York as such almost not volatile, but a hard market. Yeah. And I think they forget that they're WWE's home base, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. That's all the base right there.
Right.
So I was expecting it to be a little bit more. About the time I hit him with the ring strut, those boos, I was expecting that from the jump, which are great because it's a real challenge for you as a performer and a competitor it would be real fun to pretend to be some slimy bad guy or go as people often joke, the Homelander route. It's also really fun to stick to your guns, to be who you are.
Right.
John was a great example of that through the years. Roman stuck to his guns. Sting, all the way in WCW, stuck to his guns in terms of being not just a babyface, but executing everything in the same character, not letting an away game like that throw you off.
I actually lied. There's one last question I just thought of.
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you, when that match is over and you're backstage, is there anything you can share about? You have a moment with John, because obviously he's been a legend. He's wrapping up here. We've got, I guess, 3-4 more months left, and that's it. And he's been adamant that this is it.
Yeah,
he's not going to be one of these guys that's always back. So you put on this epic match. It's pretty significant for the company. Do you guys get to share anything? Because I remember I asked you about when you won the title from Roman, and you said he was gone by the time he got backstage.
That dude, I feel like I haven't seen him.
I asked him about that. Yeah, he's still gone. So, so I'm just curious about you and John in that spot.
The moment we had that was better, and I hate doing this to you, but it's
all right.
If they can ever pick the mics up, which by today's standards, I don't know if Unreal's got it or one of the digital guys on the floor has it. What he told me in the ring when he handed me the title is all the moment you could ever dream of. In terms of as a wrestler, as someone who's really wanted it, who's climbed the ladder and believes in climbing the ladder and believes in having a passion for this, that was as good a moment as it could get. And this has been 5 months since WrestleMania, and then a month or two before WrestleMania. All of those promos that we did, and even the toasts the night before, all of them are way more visual and etched in my brain than other promos I had done throughout. They're just, every one of them was like being in a high pressure fighter pilot like situation and trying to navigate with somebody like John, who does not accept you to be remotely not sharp. You have to be on it. But that moment in the ring was the best moment we had.
Can you share anything, or would you rather not? It's fine if you'd rather not.
No, I feel like I got to keep that one secret.
Okay, that's fine.
I got to keep that one secret because for a man, John being a man who never likes the inside stuff to be known.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who lets it all out there. This one I'm holding on until we get the mic'd up version.
It's my favorite time of the year. The NFL season is almost here and fantasy football is in full swing. This season, Yahoo Fantasy is taking it up a notch and giving you a fantasy football experience like never before. This year, I'm playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. What I love about Yahoo Fantasy is the easy-to-use interface, simple, straightforward, and very, very quick with the scoring. All important things when you play fantasy football. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy football greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August. To kick it off, they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play fantasy football on Yahoo, where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated each week until there's one team left standing. With the season around the corner, now's the time to get your league together and give this new mode a try. If you're more into the classics, you can still play in head-to-head private leagues or join a public league. Stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football now at yahoofantasy.com/SI Media. That's yahoofantasy.com/SI Media.
All right, let me transition a little bit to some other things, because I do want to talk to you about Unreal and you hosting a podcast and the ESPN deal. But let me mix in some lighthearted things here.
Hit it.
Have you Googled yourself recently?
No, should I?
Well, I try to do research, and they have on Google the top question that people ask of of someone.
Yeah.
And the most asked question about you on Google currently is, quote, is Cody Rhodes a nice guy in real life?
That's the number one.
That's number one.
Hmm.
What does that make you think?
I mean, maybe sometimes the appearance on television of being so friendly and like a goody two shoes aspect. I don't know if a lot of people, you don't see a lot of that in 2025.
Right.
And I think I heard this quote and I want to make sure I'm trying to get it right, but sometimes you pretend you're somebody that you want to be for so long that you're lucky and become that person. For me, having a young daughter and seeing that so many fans jumped on board with the American Nightmare stuff, I stopped pretending a long time ago. Very much, I would say, you can catch me in a bad moment for sure. They happen. But the only place I really like to not be a nice guy is the ring. You know, we've seen that with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles and Randy, and I think that's my one out, no matter how you look at it as sport or as pure performance. That's my one big out. I still get, I mean, I'd say I'm like everybody else. I like to be nice. I want to be nice, but there's, days when
When was the last time you got really pissed off and maybe weren't nice? What triggered it?
That I'm trying to find a way to tell you without getting this guy in trouble. Let's see. Maybe I don't use that. Oh, it was an easy one. So I always sign at the airport, always. And people today, they see the Funko sleeves and stuff like that. And you'll see people respond like, oh, that's the fans. That's the price of fame. And I don't think unless they're in sports, they realize the ones at the airport are actually not fans. They're volume collectors. They're memorabilia collectors. Now, nonetheless, you being famous, quote, is why they're there. So that's also an honor and cool. So I typically will always sign. Always. But if I'm by myself and I've flown into an airport off site, that the only way you would know is if you looked up my manifest and that's what you tell me right before I sign, that is definitely going to come with a snarkier version of me. Nonetheless, still signed. Still. So,
well, why? You shouldn't sign.
It's very simple. So
I guess because you want it over quickly and you want to just
that's
do it.
I see that it's discussion online all the time. Like, hey, they should get over it. Those are fans. And I don't think until they get into any type of industry, because they're there for NFL, NBA, actors on television series, they are volume collectors. They don't buy tickets. They don't watch the shows. Right. I always sign, but I learned this from Kane. I watched him do it. He just signed. There's no conversation. Don't ask me about my family. Don't ask me about my flight. My fear is maybe there's a real fan in the mix, and I definitely don't. I want them to have a good experience. So I just kind of move through it. But it's exactly what you said. It takes more time for me to explain, hey, this is shady. It takes more time for me to, like, you need me to sign 30 pops with a paint pen and write the American Nightmare. That I'd rather just get through as quickly as I can and get to my next objective. Yeah, my only no ever, because I am a big believer and I always say yes, and I always want to have time in case there's a real fan in the mix.
Right. But I don't think I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my only no is if I'm with the kiddo.
Right.
That's just like, come on. Like it's not possible in this moment.
Yeah.
That is her time. And I have to give her time, which that's my daughter. So anytime I'm with her, it's her time,
Plus, I think the real fan would want a photo more than an autograph.
Dude, I'm about a photo. Let's do it. Let's snap. Let's snap a photo. Yeah. When you start handing you baseballs and you're not a baseball player, you know what I'm saying? You sign the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm going to go on record, though. I always say yes. And I know a lot of old school wrestlers hate that. And it just takes longer for me to explain why this is weird. then just
No,
do it.
I get it. I mean, there's a part that's like rewarding bad behavior, but it's also like, do you want to have a whole incident or you want to just get on with your day? So I totally get it.
That's the other thing. They film you now. They get
Right.
It's all like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I did.
TMZ will be like, white face, baby face. Cody Rhodes acts like asshole at airport, and then
So there was one guy recently that that was his big opening line. I'm the only one here. And I wanted to be like, yes, because you looked into my manifest, which is terrifying, and you know where I'm landing. And that's
because I don't even know what that means, and I don't even know how one will go about it. And I don't want to ask you to explain it because there are more people to do it. But maybe you can tell me off. I mean, how does that happen?
One thing I'll explain, and this is in defense of, because I've met many collectors who I'm actually friends with. In defense, it's huge business.
Right.
Huge.
Right.
You'd think that it's not nickel and dime stuff. The moment you sign that stuff, if they get the right amount of volume, I got 8 Codys, I got 4 Livs, they're doing well. So I have a weird love-hate with them. I do with
I get it.
Memorabilia collector, because also you show up to an airport and no one's there. It usually means the show's gonna suck. So I don't know.
Right.
Love-hate.
I get it. It's been a little while since you've been on the pod, and there was one thing that happened when I saw it. I'm like, I got to get Cody back on this podcast as soon as possible, but it's been so long. But you did an interview where you said that when you retire, you want to gain 100 pounds. And when I saw that, I said, I can do a 1-hour pod with Cody just on that topic.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll just do 2 or 3 minutes here. What's the plan, Cody? What do you just want to do you have it in your head how you might do this, or you just know this is what you want to do when it's over?
I think every time I say that, I'm reminded that I don't think it's possible for me. I want that, because this image of me in a Tommy Bahama shirt and sunburnt, perpetually sunburnt, maybe standing outside a car that's never going to work, talking with another guy about the things we need to do to that car. Oh, we'll get it tomorrow. I say all this, but the problem is my wife is getting better looking. So if she was getting chubbed out, I could probably let this go, but I want it. And it's very simple. I've been working out since I was 14.
Right.
So 14, and even before that, my dad had this barbaric neck harness because he said I needed to have a big neck to play football. This thing you'd put on your head, and if you can see me now, you do these lifts with it that you hang Olympic plates from. I've been working out since I was 14, no end in sight. I've never I think maybe a better way to put it, instead of gaining 100 pounds, is I'm going to take a little break.
But I'm assuming when you say gain 100 pounds, what you mean is you want to eat like a pig.
Yeah, I want to not just eat like a pig. I want to eat like a pig 7 days a week. Right, because it's all that whole concept of hey, here's your big cheat meal. And then you just destroy yourself over the course of a day. Versus just not worry as much. Worry as much. You know what? I can get that fried chicken instead of the roasted chicken or the steak. I can have that old fashioned and not feel bad, or not limit it to the one. That pack of Oreos that's calling your name. Instead of smelling one and throwing it away, I can have a sleeve of Oreos, and I'm not feeling like the next day I'm irresponsible and doing a disservice to those who come and watch us with our clothes off at a pro wrestling show.
And so I just want to be clear about this, because people may aggregate. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Champion, smells the Oreo and throws it in the garbage.
Yeah. That's the best way to get. If it's not, if you put it in the garbage, you can't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you're going into the garbage, something's wrong.
What I love about that is I don't think as an Oreo is something as like I could see you doing that with a Cinnabon, an Aunt Annie's pretzel. Those have the powerful, even you walk into a movie theater and that popcorn smell just smacked you right in the face. An Oreo, I wouldn't think,
Well, Oreo's maybe not the best example, but it has happened with an Oreo. Here's something I do really enjoy, though, and this is true. I love watching other people eat poorly. I love that.
We should hang out.
Love that. Food is love, as my friends from Crispy Pizza in Brooklyn have taught me. Food is love. So if I can watch somebody eat some crumble cookies, then I can keep up. I like that feels good. That feels good to me. Like, they're digging it. They're loving it. I don't need it anymore, you know?
I wish you didn't say that. I might have to edit that out because it's a daily fight in my household with my nieces because they want crumble cookie constantly. And I'm like, that's a once in a blue moon thing. It's not a once a week thing.
I'm looking at the app right now.
No.
They got this one, the Freakier Friday Blackberry one. I don't know if you that one. Look at that.
But you've probably never had a crumble. Like, do you have it on a cheat day?
Yeah, no. You still get your day. You still get your day, or not day, correction. No one should have the day. Right. You get your meal, you know, and I think as you get a little, maybe a mature thing, if you're training and into fitness and into that whole game, it's okay every now and then to not put the weight of the world behind a half a cookie you're sharing with your daughter. Cause that's the thing. They like to share. So like take her to Cold Stone. She's going to want to share these flavors. So you're going to naturally get a few bites.
Right.
Can't disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? So I got to
blame it on the kid.
My big secret, when everyone orders dessert, I order coffee. That's my thing.
Right. Well, I'm going to throw a hot take out there and then we can move on.
Hot take.
Chip City is better than crumble cookie.
Chip City?
Just throwing that out there.
I'm looking this up. Where is Chip City?
Well, I know we have them here out on Long Island in New York. I don't know, where they are around the rest of the country.
Chip City cookies.
We have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they you can order. I'm looking at locations. They're in Connecticut, Florida, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Okay.
Try it. Let me know what you think.
Well, do they have a menu, or is it just a variety?
Yeah, it's the same thing as crumble cookie. Like they have like the menu that changes with the flavors and all that stuff.
They got a brookie this week.
Yep.
Captain Crunch cookie too. Oh, they have a lot of cookies. Okay. I'm looking at this and I think it's worth a shot.
All right, good. I wouldn't steer you wrong.
I'm going to say crumble is still the king. And the reason that crumble is the king is sometimes, just like with all these streaming services and everything happening these days, the interface and quick access, the ability to go tap, tap, next thing you know, pink box on your doorstep, let's party. Right? So,
there's also a downside. It's a little scary that it's that easy to me sometimes. Yeah.
But you got the willpower, Jimmy. You good?
Oh, I have none. None. But I do want to ask you this now as we chat it up here. You're now hosting a podcast. You've joined us in this, I don't know what this is, this world.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Are you enjoying hosting a podcast? Are you getting out of it what you wanted? Tell me about doing this whole gig.
My producer on the podcast, his name's Craig. He does a really great job giving me, I like to just have a conversation. What do you want to talk about? He does a good job giving me research on some things we probably should hit. Some questions that he knows there's certain questions I can ask that become an education for me, which in those moments, like I just interviewed Bruce Pritchard. It hasn't aired yet. Such an education. And the day he said this stuff to me was the day I needed to hear it. So I love sitting there and being educated. I never really had any love. I love a story. I love talking, but I never really thought of the podcast thing as something that I would be doing. Wheatley, Fanatics, WWE, all the same team. Right. I am very much enjoying it. I think a little moment for me telling of how powerful WWE has gotten was as wrestlers, when we go on shows like your show, if a wrestler ever says no, and it's a big show like your show, they're reminded of, hey, it's X amount of people. It's in this area. They give you these little nuggets. I did one, Pardon My Take, right? I did Pardon My Take. I had already said yes, so I don't know why they kept giving me the sales. But they kept saying, hey, it's the #1 sports podcast in the world. That's what they said to me, right?
When you say they, you mean the WWE team?
Yes, WWE. Okay. And I'm thinking, got it. I said, yes, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah.
But the first episode we did of What Do You Want to Talk About with Brandy, jumped ahead of that show.
Right.
And I felt really proud because to me, I don't consider myself in this world so much. I felt really proud of that because my whole goal is I'd love to get people who are new to our world or who are outside of our game. I'd love to have you on the show. I'd love to have people who often ask the questions, be asked the questions. I'm more of a fan of conversation and educating myself than I am an entertaining pod. And I feel it's okay because WWE is going to make them entertaining and give it that flavor and things of that nature. But the thing I like the most is sitting there and finding out something new. That's the thing I like the most. It's like a street education for me. Didn't go to college. I got 2 guests this season who haven't aired yet. One was Big E. One was Alexa Bliss. Both conversations I left the room better for because of the stuff that they were hitting me with that I was not prepared to learn on that. So that part of the podcast I love greatly. I don't love that the show has basically become drink champs where maybe we're hitting the vodka a bit hard. Maybe
if you don't love that, you can fix that.
I can fix that, but here's where it goes off the rails and Craig's hip to
Right.
out. Don't have me do an ad read with 40 S's in it after we've done. Do it first.
Right.
And then I can get it. Boom. I can get it done. Some of these, it's like watching a man fight for his life, trying so hard to stay with already a little bit of a lisp in my mouth and keep this going after a couple libations of the Wheatley.
Yeah. Yeah. That I would take the ads before the
we've
pod
learned.
for sure. Yeah. And not to kiss your ass because you're on here, but I do. I've watched many of the episodes and I do love the fact that you make it a conversation. That's what I try to do here. I mean, I'm in a position where I still got to do some of the PR stuff and talk about Unreal and Netflix and where to find everything. But I'd rather just have a conversation as well. So I appreciate how you do it. I think you do it very well. Give me because I know you're Jelly Roll on. Give me a couple of non-WWE people you'd love to have on and love to have a conversation.
Oh gosh. Walton Goggins is so special, and being from Georgia, I love his story. I love his outlook on the South and portraying the South often. He's one that I would love. Hideo Kojima, responsible for the Metal Gear franchise and now Death Stranding, just someone I'm a huge fan of. Some people I'm on some projects with moving forward that I'd love to get in there so we could talk about those things. Those are 2 outside our world I'd love. Shane Gillis, fellow Eagles fan, far more Eagles fan. I mean, the guy, just really love what he's doing with tires, love his whole story. I mean, I could go on and on. Fanatics, too. WWE and Fanatics put that whole thing together. They've got a really great Rolodex of outstanding guests that can come on and be part of it.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I do all this myself, so gotta throw that in there.
Well, you have friends here at WWE. You do.
Well, yeah, but
you have friends because anytime I've ever been asked about your show, I wasn't really asked. I was told you're doing it.
Oh,
I
don't like that.
I was told we show up for Jimmy.
I don't like that.
Roman is not doing many podcasts. Not doing much.
I know.
And you've had him multiple times.
Everyone says that to me. Everyone's like, you get Roman. I'm like, we had, and I don't know if I should say this, but what the hell? I did a pod. I think I've done probably 5, 6, 7 pods with Roman. The first one, he was 33 at the time. And I asked him what it was like to be a wrestler at 43. So the fact that I was such an idiot at that time and he came back on was great. And then there was one pod we did. I think it was not the last one, the one before. I actually got a little private message from a guy you keep calling Mr. Heyman saying it was the best interview he's ever heard with Roman. So it made me feel good. So I appreciate but I turned on Roman and I wanted you to finish the story, which maybe doesn't say a lot about me, but I was 100% Cody finished the story.
Thank you. I got my Roman watch on today, actually.
I feel like you and Roman have unfinished business. And now that you have
there it is.
The title back. Oh, there it is.
There's the Roman watch.
There it is. You and Roman, I feel like there's another dance to be done, right?
I'm very happy with what we put out there. That's a really, I always try to wax poetic about him. And anytime I've ever said something a little snarky, I guess it's been more for entertainment. But I can tell you, that's probably a very hard match to have happen.
Really?
But I could see it being very significant, it happening again. And for the fans who really make this all up, even the fans I was given a hard time about following me in the airport just a minute ago, for that, you can't just have two, you know? We split it. So that third exists. And a lot of times, sometimes matches can go in the file of the greatest match that never happened. I'm certainly not adverse to it. I don't know what his outlook on it is.
Right.
We're different than we were. And again, not adverse to it because we're split. He won one, I won the other.
Would you ever want, I mean, obviously you can't do it now. You just won the title. And I know you're 40, but you really seem like you're like 25. So
thank you so much.
But, you're welcome. But I mean that, would you ever want the Roman schedule that people love to talk about so much, where he's here and then disappears and comes back and disappears?
I think every wrestler who's kind of made it into the to be able to be on Mount Olympus a little bit and sit around and chat has a different outlook on, this is how I do it. This is how John did it. This is how Brett did it. This is how Shawn did it. This is how Hogan did it. This is how Brock did it. I think it's good to take a little bit from, I particularly loved John as a character for WWE, and I tried to model my style after him. I have come to find that I can't do it exactly how he did it. I do have to do it how I'd like to do it. And my personal life is different than his, with a child and with a young child at that.
Oh yeah, he's got like 5 or 6 of them, double twins. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point you earn the right, as he did, to call the shots you want to take. And to me, a lot of that has to do with where you want to ultimately go. And what I mean by that is, do you want to leave WWE when your time is up? Or do you want to stay behind the scenes at WWE? Do you want to make your way into that writer's room? Do you want to see if you can sit in the booking chair? If you're of that thought, then I don't know if the Roman schedule works for you as much. And I don't really know. I'm in uncharted territory. It's there's some projects that are not wrestling projects on my plate that are coming up that I'm very excited about. And I've not ever been excited about anything outside of pro wrestling from a professional standpoint. And now I am. So maybe, I can't see it.
Fair enough.
I say maybe because one thing in terms of when you link up with a fan, when they become a fan and you become a fan of them, you can't go away. You can go away for a little bit. You go away too long, then you're hurting that relationship. And that's a scary moment for me. I've been telling everyone here today, that's just a scary moment. I don't want to, I worked so hard to get it. Do I trust that, hey, I'll be here when you come back? Or do I stay in it? Do I do it how John did it? Do I have interest in doing something like Triple H is doing and he's doing so well? And I think part of me does. But also, would I be any good at that? All these are the questions that are hitting me now, and hopefully I can kind of find the right path.
You've alluded to the movies here. As soon as we have like a not good weather day here, I'm going to watch Naked Gun. Was that a fun experience for you?
That was such an easy, for me, it was such an easy day. It was, hey, you have an off day. Do you want to do this cameo role in Naked Gun with Liam Neeson? Now, Liam Neeson is a lot of things to a lot of people in terms of the unbelievable body of work he's put up. For me, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. It's a Jedi Knight, and a very important Jedi Knight. And I know this was the guy from Schindler's List. He's Liam Neeson. He's done so much, but he was Qui-Gon Jinn to me. And the idea that I could hang out with him for an afternoon and do the scene that I did, and then it be in the film and the film be so received so well. I'm really honored. I was excited about it. It was very cool. And it was an easy one for me with my schedule to be able to do. Some of the new stuff on the table, some stuff we can't talk about, some stuff that's kind of leaked and out there already in the world. That's a little bit more aggressive. So next time we talk, I'll know, hey, I can do that. I'm made for that, or maybe not.
Would all genres of movies appeal to you? Would you want to just stick to like action? Could you see yourself doing like a drama, a comedy, or?
Well, I think I owe it to, if I go into that route, I owe it to try and give it beyond 100%. And Howard Fine, who was the first acting coach I had, he was the type that no matter if it was a soap opera, action movie, War and Peace, whatever it was, you completely connect to those circumstances and you are that character. So I don't really have I don't know. I think for me, from a business perspective, you almost have to navigate what others in your field are doing. And we've opened it up. Rock is out here working with Martin Scorsese. Look at what he's doing for other wrestlers just by that. Dave Bautista, everything Dave touches. Dave is, gosh, I wish I had gotten more time with Dave. Dave is so like, I get such a kick out of when I see him say something in a movie and the crowd laugh, or because that's the wrestler. Cena doing incredible things, surviving this turnover at DC and Warner Brothers and Discovery and taking Peacemaker into the future. I mean, they had made it so that we can kind of go into all different genres and give it a shot. So cheers to those, you know, and then Hulk before them. Cheers to those who crossed over and showed the world outside of us the work ethic and what wrestlers can do.
It's a long list. You know, Piper did movies. Andre obviously had that.
Yeah, another two others. Yeah.
And that trailer for that Rock movie, Dwayne Johnson movie, I forgot the name of it, but it looks tremendous.
Smashing Machine, right?
Yeah. Can you give me 5 more minutes? You want to run? I do, because I do want to ask you about Unreal and ESPN. It's up to you. I don't want to keep you, you know, I know you got things to do.
Well, yeah, I'm here. No one's yanking.
Okay.
Up. I think.
All right.
Are you hiding in here? Okay, there is one person in the room.
All right, so everyone in the wrestling, that's right. Everyone in the wrestling world has an opinion on Unreal. Good for the business, bad for the business. They don't like it, this, that. Let me get the Cody Rhodes take on the Netflix, and it's a smash hit from all indications.
Yeah,
it is. Netflix, WWE, Unreal. Whether people in the business, you know, think it's not good for the business or not, fans have watched it in droves. So let me get your take since everyone's weighing in on it.
Well, I know that Ben Hauser, Lee Fitting, again, Nick Khan, Triple H, and the final boss, everybody was going into that doing something that had been unprecedented in terms of we really are going to mic up the gorilla position. We really are going to be out there through the day and what a day at the ring looks like. My mom loves the show. My mom is essentially a wrestler herself. She's been in the business. She's seen all of the ups and downs and the highs and lows. I never got more text than when the first episode was the series hit from people outside my world saying, "Oh, I can't, this is unbelievable. This is so, I didn't know." I think that was the point for us to connect with a different audience. If they don't know, and Hunter does a little monologue at the beginning about what you might think this is, and then you find out what it is because you find out what it is through the who these people are, who Rhea Ripley is, who CM Punk is. I don't think anything is good or bad for our industry. And I think anyone who's saying, hey, they're exposing too much, the most old school fundamental principle is to sell a ticket. And you can sell a ticket in a shameless way, or you can sell a ticket because I want to see her. I want to see him. I liked her and that's a connection that you stay with. So the show is very actually old school, even though it's showing things that you'd never expect to see. What I have found, and maybe I'm being optimistic, but I don't think I am. I think if we show you something, that means you're not looking over here. And if you're not looking over here, then we can still surprise you. Then we can still give you some magic that you absolutely were not expecting because you were so set on knowing it all here. I never watch anything inside. Anything. I've seen clips from all the classics, but I always loved what was out there in the first place. That suspension of disbelief, the sport and the entertainment, the performance.
Yeah.
I think this is just another opportunity to have more of that. In a way, by telling them everything, we're actually able to surprise them even more.
Yeah.
They think they know everything, and I think that's a good way to go down.
Right. I also have a take on it as someone not in the wrestling world. Like, okay, so I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to know everything that's going to happen. I want to be surprised. But what I do like is seeing you guys interact with each other, seeing your personalities. Yes, you can show your personality on Monday Night Raw, but it's still different than 2:00 in the afternoon when you're in the arena shooting the shit with your friends. I mean, it's, so I like that part of it more than quote unquote exposing the business part of it.
Well,
that's just me.
No, I think you're seeing something that is actually kind of really WWE at the moment. And I've told people this, and I've heard a couple other wrestlers pick this up in their interviews as well. WWE is very much a functioning team at the moment. There's definitely those who go and do their own thing, and we've got rogue elements, as always entertainment does. But as a team, Triple H lays out a map, has the discipline to stick to it. That's been the thing I've been most happy about since my return is this is what you're doing, X, 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 X. And we have stuck to the plan, which allows me as a storyteller to tell the story better because I'm prepared, because this isn't an improv show, because there's a narrative here and the direction. And the fact that you get to see the guys as teammates, you get to see the girls as teammates, and you get to see the thing that's the most real. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. Kevin Owens wants it. I want it. Gunther wants it. Punk wants it. Dom wants it. And everybody wants it in their own different way, but there's only so many pieces of that pie. And that's been always the real competition in our world of suspension of disbelief. And I think that's entertaining as hell.
This was a huge week because of the deal with ESPN. Now, listen, the WWE in and of itself is this massive global phenomenon. Yeah. You're on Netflix, which is a global phenomenon. But in my world, in the sports world, ESPN is still at the peak, the apex, however you want to say it.
Thanks.
So I would imagine you guys get, you're not on the business side of it, but as the talent, quote unquote, that still has to pump you up that you're now part of that company as well, I would assume.
I mean, it's everything that growing up as a legacy in the business. If you think about Bill Watts, the Jarretts, if you think about the Grahams, if you think about my family and everything that we've always tried to do in terms of building and providing more exposure to pro wrestling, this is everything they ever wanted. And I felt that way when I was on the Netflix red carpet, and I felt that way walking into that studio in Bristol. I'd never been to the ESPN studio. I got to walk.
That was your first time this week?
First time.
Oh, I thought you've been on like First Take.
I've been on First Take on the other side.
Oh, like in the city. I got it.
In Bristol. I never walked into the big, giant vault door for the studio and hallowed ground being there on the Sports Center stage. That from a energy standpoint backstage, just today, it's ESPN.
Yeah.
That is so exciting for all of us. Not only does it mean we're in a healthy place that they want us, not only does it mean that WWE is continuing to be on the climb, it helps answer the question of when is the decline? And the answer currently is nowhere in sight. Nowhere in sight. Every time you could peak in the business, there's a drop. And we've just been on the climb ever since Nick Khan came on board. And he had held this meeting 6 months ago, showing us data. I mean, here's a graph, here's a chart, here's percentages of our ratings, our relevancy, our revenue, the big 3 R's. For me, sitting there, a promoter's son, and having had a dabbled in my own attempt at being an executive as well, oh my gosh, I was ready to run through a brick wall. And to be on the Sports Center stage and to have that moment and then look at our business for what it is. It's entertainment. But these are real athletes, and the sport is so prominent in the term sports entertainment. Pro wrestling, the way they look at it, that took years.
Oh, yeah.
years of hard work, of guys sacrificing, and hats off to the legends and the people that set us up to be in this space where we are right now. But I am, if you can't tell, I am very excited about everything with ESPN. It's a really great plan and a great future for the PLEs and us.
Yep, all the PLEs starting next year will be on ESPN, and it's a whole big thing about how you can get it, which I don't want to get into because I've been dealing with that with the NFL stuff all week. It's made my head spin. So let me wrap it up with this. In December, Saturday night's main event was 10 minutes from my house at the Nassau Coliseum. WWE was nice enough to set me up with some seats right by the ring.
Wow, comp tickets, huh?
And you got pile driven by Kevin Owens. They wheeled you about 2 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
And I shot my shot. We have the audio. You really need the video, but my producer's going to play the audio here. 20 seconds. Let's hear the audio, please, Kent.
Wow.
Not my best moment, but thank you for coming back on the pod.
No, that is not your best moment in terms of here's a man being boarded off to after receiving a banned maneuver in the WWE realm and a good package pile driver at that. But I in a weird way appreciate that you you seized the moment. Here's what you need to know, though. I was already coming back on your podcast.
Well, I had to make sure. I mean, you were 2 feet in front of me. I don't have a way to access you. I can't say like, oh, so like that was my moment right there. And the funny thing was, so I was obviously screaming at you. I didn't take the video. My buddy, Sal Licata, took the video. I think you were on with him last week on WFAN. He was with me there. We're good friends. So Sal took the video and posted it. And then when I heard it, I said, oh my God, that was way worse than I thought. But I have to say then, when I put it out there, the response was overwhelmingly positive. People thought it was just, they were like, you had to do it. You had to do it. So it worked out. So here you are.
I'm glad you shot your shot. And I was pumped that Nassau got that event because it's history. I love a building with this history. And the Winged Eagle that night and everything that came out of it and keeping it around for a little longer. You were... Well, you were into it, so that's good.
And the questions I got, people were like, do you think Cody heard you? Do you think Cody? I'm like, no, he didn't hear me. There's 20,000 people screaming at the top of
What? Now, here's the question. Had I actually been severely hurt, how do you feel that moment would – how would you have dealt with that moment?
I don't want to sound like a jerk, but like I knew you weren't here. If you were severely hurt, they wouldn't have wheeled you right past me. I think there would have been –
You think there would have been another route?
I think there would have been a more urgent way to like get you out of there.
Well,
it just seemed like if they were going to wheel you 2 feet in front of me, I feel like you probably were okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
and I'm glad you were okay.
It all worked out.
I'm glad you're back in the pod.
On the pod.
Yep, there it is. I appreciate it. I really do. I know you got SmackDown tonight, and it's been a very crazy week for you guys with SummerSlam, obviously, and then the ESPN deal. So I thank you greatly for taking the time. I do appreciate it.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to come back. I know the team around me at WWE Comms makes it seem like I'm super hard to get, which I love, but I was glad we got to talk.
And I want a Chip City review when it happens.
Yeah, you know what? That's
Get
fair.
my number from Chris, or have Chris text me or something like that. I need a full review.
I'm gonna look up this Chip City action, and I hope you're right. I don't want to be a hater. I hope you're right.
I'm confident. We'll see what happens. All right. Cody Rhodes, obviously, SmackDown on Peacock and USA, Netflix for Raw, coming to ESPN. Unreal. What else do we need to plug? Is that anything else?
Plug? Unreal on Netflix, like you said. SmackDown's
podcast,
USA. What do you want to talk about? Podcasts. I think the biggest thing right now for me, and just something exciting and that's on the horizon, is the fact that WrestleMania 42 is coming to ESPN platforms, and that for me, just to be able to say it, it's amazing.